Hey guys, I want to point out something that I know a lot of people are already thinking, and this is going to be thought of a lot more as the next, 2 to 6 months go, which is, why is my crypto the only effing one that's not moving? Right? So this was a direct question from a subscriber. Shout out to Beasts. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And this is a very common, it's not a problem because it's not true, right? But this is a very common thought process of, my crypto is the only one not going up right now. So I want to target a couple of things that you can do when you feel this way, and not going to say just buy the dip. Always an option, but I'm going to steer clear of that one and talk about other things. All right, but also ways to, before you get or you start to get that mindset as to checking, is it really your crypto the only one that's down or not moving? Because I'll tell you, it's not. Unless there was like a scam or the CEO died or whatever, it's never just your crypto. But that's the way we feel, right? And feelings is how we fuck up in this market. So I want to talk a little bit about that strategy today of how to deal with it when you're feeling overwhelmed. And it is a little bit harder if you are a maxi, meaning you're only in one crypto or 80% in a crypto, which I know for the person who commented is this case. So I want to give a couple scenarios and things to do, or my thought processes when you're in this position, whether you have a diversified portfolio or you're a maxi, because I do think they're a little different. So let's hit statistics on what most people are going to feel. All right, is if you have a diversified portfolio, whether you're hodling or trading, we all get this feeling that we're just looking at one crypto, or maybe it's most of our crypto hasn't gone up in a little while, whatever time period that may be, and we feel like the entire market's going up because we see on YouTube everyone talking about how much money they're making. It's paper money. They didn't sell yet. Or on Twitter, how much everyone's making. This crypto to the moon. This is going up 40%. There's a couple things I want you to realize. People will not point out when their crypto is down 40%. They'll only point when it's up. And they'll say things like, look, I knew this. It's going up to the moon. And because if they commented every time it went up and every time it went down, you'll realize it's just like every other crypto. It's always doing it. It's why in any given day, maybe there's volatility. Every given week, some volatility. But in a stable market, which for the most part, the market stays stable, you're going to see a pretty flat line over the week, over 2 weeks, and over the month. So the point being, give it time. So when you feel like your crypto, that one or most of your crypto isn't going up, do a couple of checks. All right. One, when was the last time that yours did have a boost? All right. So for this individual, presumably I'm going to say he said he's only in ASM. It's a micro cap. I love it. Little ballsy getting in maxi onto a micro cap, but boy, is that going to pay off for him if it works the way I think it will. But regardless. But when you feel like your crypto aren't moving and everything else is, reel back and actually check, right? Are your cryptos not moving? When was the last time they did move? Did they have a good pump in the last week? Are they stable from where they were a month ago? I know for the one that this individual is talking about, ASM, it's been pretty stable for the last month. So it's just that it hasn't popped up yet. And when he commented about this, I went ahead and checked. I got a decent watch list, and I point out like 5 or 6 crypto on my watch list that have all moved less than ASM, which was around 4%, right? That's in crypto, that's nothing. It'll do that in any given minute. And there were several of them, and that was just on my list that I was watching. So I knew it wasn't just ASM's the only one that is not pumping right now. He's a maxi, so it's harder to see it in that lens. Because if you're diversified, what I recommend to you is look at your crypto that are moving. Focus in on those. Not all crypto move at the same time. We want to think that they do. And other people who are thrilled about their investments will make you feel like everything's going up, except for yours. But it's never true. Never true. There's other things it could be. It could be by narrative. Maybe AI agents isn't pumping, but RWAs and tokenizations and DEXs are, and that's the majority of the top 100, right? And that can make us feel like everything else is going up. Or maybe it is by size, which was kind of happening for the most part, was the larger caps, which not necessarily huge caps, but around like 750 million or more, they were all going up. And then you had some of the smaller dexes like Aerodrome, just freaking awesome Aerodrome. But you could tell the patterns. It was harder for him to focus because he's maxied in. And maybe I'm teasing a little bit on maxis, not this individual. This guy's awesome. But it's harder to keep your emotions straight. And it's a hard enough thing to do even when you have a diversified portfolio. Another thing is kind of already touched on this one, but zoom out. See how well has your crypto done. And even if you think you got in at a high spot, now you have possibly some questions to ask. Like, are you going to do anything about it? Right? Like if I had a crypto that was in the red right now, unless I'm down like 40% or more, and I'm not even positive I would in this case, I would just hold it because I'm confident essentially every single crypto is going to go up well over that 40% in the next couple of months. And you just never want to regret selling or buying something. And well, you're never going to know until after you do it, right? So there's a couple other things you can do if you feel like your crypto isn't moving. My go-to is research that crypto to rebuild conviction into it, because maybe you just need to research it. Remember why you bought it in the first place. Look at your other crypto that are moving and put your energy into those, because at some point those will not move. They might even go down, and your crypto that isn't moving might be going and taking its ride. So it helps the emotional component. Now, if you're a maxi, most of that won't help you, but you have options. So one option you can do, I said I wouldn't, but let's hit it real quick. You can always DCA, right? If you are down and if you have extra cash that you can afford to lose, you can always buy a little bit more and bring down your average if you're down. This individual says he's down about 20-25%, so I'll take his word on it. DCAing, he said, wasn't an option. Okay, fine. Another option is just effing wait. Now there's some of the harder decisions that may or may not be worthwhile for someone that is in one coin and it's not moving or they're down. And the emotion that comes in of, I'm supposed to make money. And with a maxi, it might just be your crypto that's down. I'm not saying you're the only one that's down, but you have nothing else to look at. You can't put conviction in another coin. If yours is down, all your eggs in one basket, this is a harder emotional ride. So another option, which I was directly asked, and let's make the very obvious, not financial advice banner, but I was asked if it would be a good idea to sell for a 25% loss, put it into something else, and then go back into ASM. And it might be, I don't know, right? I could see that working out well. And this is where it's up to the individual in this position, him, and some other time, probably one of you guys that are watching, is if you're down 25% at this point in the market, and it's in a micro cap, meaning it's probably going to boost later after most everything else. It's probably one of the best narratives to do this for. It's definitely not without risk. But let's say this individual or a similar position, you sell all of this token, buy something else. What are you going to buy? All right, not to be a wise ass, but what are you going to buy? My recommendations would be looking at, right now, large caps. They're the next to move, right? The path to alt season is Bitcoin goes up and it's dominant, and then Ethereum goes up and it's dominant, which it's 100% where we are now. And then it's large caps. Large caps are making some moves, but they're making like 10 to 20% moves, right? So this would be your Solanas, your XRPs, your Avalanches, your Chainlinks, your H-bars. Pretty much look at the top 25, give or take. And those are the ones that are most likely to move next. And there's always going to be outliers, right? There'll be a random shit coin, a random mid cap that goes up, 400% in a week. But playing by statistics, it's your large caps. Look at the top 25. Scrutinize it. What do you think hasn't moved or has a better chance to move? If I was in this position, I would be looking heavily at Solana, Avalanche, or maybe some of the slightly smaller, more popular ones, H-bar, Ondo, Aptos. I think those would all be pretty good options. I just really want Avalanche to boost. I'm not in of the ones I just mentioned, HBAR is the only one I own. Solana, I feel, would be the smartest move in my position for what I would want, my risks. I'd probably go Avalanche because I think that's got a better upside and I got full faith in it. But you got several options. So you could sell off your crypto for one that you think is going to boost higher first, and then move it back into your other crypto. Do realize you might miss that opportunity, right? So again, in this situation, maybe you sell ASM, you put it into a large cap, let's call it Solana. Solana goes up 3 to 5x in the next 2 months because an ETF is coming out. We're expecting it to come out. And then you're looking at going back in ASM. ASM might already be up to from 2 cents to 8 cents. Maybe then it's not worth your while. So you got to be okay with missing it. I think that's okay. Coming from someone who talks a lot about ASM, I am in it. I want it to do well. I'm also going to tell you, you don't have to get back into it, right? There'll be plenty of other options. The big thing is, can you handle the mentality if you sell a crypto, put it into something else, and then it rockets, right? Which is only for you to decide. And then lastly, whether, I guess this could be for both, whether you're a maxi or well diversified, if your crypto is not moving, is there something else you can do with it, right? Meaning, does your crypto allow staking? And again, I am targeting this directly to Beast because he asked, and I know a lot about this crypto, is ASM does have staking. If you're in the US, you need a VPN because it's a 12% stake on Gate.io. But if you're just sitting there and waiting for it, you might as well make some from it, right? Other crypto could do liquidity pools. Now, again, throw some money in there with USDC, Parrot, and let it add up. Do your own research, make sure you know what the hell you're doing, but it works pretty well. Does your crypto that isn't moving, is there airdrop opportunities, right? Because that's very common in certain narratives. Are there other ways of obtaining this crypto? This one's a little bit more rare, but back to ASM, there's quizzes, like 20 of them roughly every day on the NS3 app, which you can take quizzes to earn free ASM. So there's other ways that you can get sometimes free crypto that kind of brings down your average because you're just getting it for nothing by waiting, which you're doing anyway. And then lastly, I find this stuff gets easier as you're in the market more, right? And some of the more veteran guys will tell you this. One, we still get emotional, right? But it's slower to get there and faster to recover. We kind of go numb to this, right? For those of us that were in the bear market, I think was really the best time to practice this. Seeing nothing happen, and when there was a 30% move, it was on the downside, right? I was buying HBAR at 4 cents for 2 years, jumped up to 18 cents in like a week, and then back down to 4 cents. Like, there it goes, right? You get numb to this kind of stuff as long as you practice going numb to it. If you have a diversified portfolio and you see the red, look at it as an opportunity, right? It's either an opportunity to relax or buy. Research, right? Freaking out doesn't do anything. Easier said than done. I get it. But it's going to happen a lot in the next couple of months, guys, so get your mental shit together. With that being said, I don't have any real questions to ask, so if you got anything, put them down in the comments below. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Peace.